Okay, folks. Let me see here if I can do this. Yeah. I just wanted to give a quick run by of. Whoops. You can kind of see what I'm going to review. Well, I guess you obviously see from the thumbnail. Back in the day, I had this magazine, and I was 13 years old, and I think this is the winter, maybe October issue. And anyhow, I was just got this in the mail a while back. And I also had this issue, and I was kind of laughing because, let me see here. Yeah, just there's a couple things that tie into the review today. And first off, I did like the ads back then, and I forgot about this, but I used to say, I wonder if that's the same as Ral Partha. But I'm going to check that, see if there's Citadel miniatures out there. There's some. But here's the key thing. Well, I guess it isn't the key thing. I'm also going to look for this. Because, yeah, I'd see Judges Guild things all the time. But I really didn't understand D&D. My friends didn't really want to play it. And so I was just left trying to understand it, and I had the basic edition. And now I'll never be able to find what I was looking for. Let's see here. Nope. I hope I'm not too loud. I'm probably... Oh, yes. I was big into metagaming because they had Death Test, and I never played that, but I played this. This was like the fantasy trip. Melee rules required, which I went and played every one of those I could get solo. And that kind of ties into what I want to show you. If I can find the ad, any of the ads. Why has it got to be so hard? Why is this channel so bad? Oh, come on. They advertised it. There it is. So, I knew very little about Dungeons and Dragons, but I knew even less about this company, Chaosium. But I was always kind of fascinated by these little ads, and I would just read them, and I'd be like, wow, some of the best people are working on it. And I always dug that symbol. And lo and behold, today, there's the symbol. We're finally getting around to playing this. I've had this for a while, and I'll show you what I did. There's the box set. This is the adventure Alone Against the Flames solo adventure. See, it says book 1. This is my sheet of my investigator, Bill Smuggan. He's a janitor. This is book 2, the rules. And then book 3 is more paper chase and other adventures. So, yeah. And like a dummy, and there's also some other handouts and some character sheets, and I believe some pre-generated characters, map. And then this, these are the dice. And anyhow, so I did it wrong very first time. I just started reading the book 2 introductory rules. I think it even says there, just go to book 1 and play the adventure, because you can play the adventure without needing to know the rules. And I said, nope, not doing it. So I was trying to figure out how to to fill out the sheet and all that. And it covers it in the thing. And I kind of wish almost every solo game out there would do the very same thing, because it gets you rolling dice. It gets you filling out your form. It gets you understanding the system without, there's very little, what would be the right word? Dread or getting overwhelmed. I guess dread's not the right word, but you know what I'm trying to say, that sometimes I think with solo playing, at least for me, I just think, well, when am I going to have the time, and how am I going to be able to, I got to learn all this stuff and, make a little space to do it and all this, that, the other. And with I guess I should say, Call of Cthulhu, Although me and a guy at work would always say it wrong because it's, well, what the hell is that? Call it Cthulhu. But anyhow, yeah, they would, I would get, I guess my sanity would be affected by that. So anyhow, that being the case, got to erase that because I got to start over. The scenario or the campaign, yeah, I guess scenario. It's the 40th anniversary. Came out in 1981. Yeah, when that all happened, I played this, and I don't want to ruin anything, but yeah, I didn't make it through my first try, and I'm going to start over and do it again. I find it funny because I like D&D and I like the whole gaming thing. And when I say D&D, I mean all the derivatives of Dungeons and Dragons and, your D20 type of games, and I enjoy this too. But, as far as my gaming group, I think most of them have a very extensive knowledge of the literature. What is that? Appendix N. Like they've read all that stuff. The guys I started with on my Fantasy Ground morning group, like, yeah, they're well versed. And, if there's a show on TV that I stumble across and, it seems sort of related to the fantasy, they've already watched it, wrote review. I mean, they're just into it. And it's kind of funny because I really don't have that background, but I do have three big literary sources, I guess. When I was in high school, actually, I guess about the same time in grade school, I got into Sherlock Holmes books and like read all the short stories, which, is something. There was, I think Penguin Press had in two editions, bound, paperback editions. And yeah, I read all of those and then, read some of the longer ones, the Hound of the Baskervilles. But yeah, I liked all the mystery stuff. And then in high school, the thing that I got into, I was kind of like a wasteoid and not really into studying or anything like that. But there was this one literature class that we didn't read. Whoever made this mythos, everybody knows but me. Yeah, I can't think of his name, but we read. We had this one class, and it was really not for the brightest, best. I shouldn't say not for the best and brightest, but it was for, I think, the instructor, the teacher, just kind of had this concept of like, high school kids like Stephen King and stuff like that. So yeah, it was just called Supernatural Lit, and it was like sci-fi and all that stuff. And when I was playing this, it reminded me of the short story "The Lottery" by Shirley Jackson, which is one of the creepier things out there. If you've never read it, I don't know how it stands up today, but I remember reading it in high school and thought, hey, boy, there's something to this literature. So yeah, it kind of got me into that. And then I guess those two background things also just basically extended into me liking mysteries in general. And yeah, I've read a lot of them. And I always thought, gee, I wish there was a game that was more on mystery. Now, I don't know if this per se you would count as mystery, Call of Cthulhu, but Cthulhu. But it has kind of that supernatural vibe, obviously. And then, I don't know. I did not make it through my first run of this adventure that was in here. So I will try again. And I'm hoping maybe there'll be more resolution to fight another day, or there'll be some point to this at the end, because right now it just seems kind of mysterious why this is all occurring. But I kind of like that. So I'm sure that's going to be the case. And then the thing that's really neat is I do have the, I think there's 4 of them. Like this was Alone in the Dark. What was the name of it? Alone Against the Flames. I think there's like 4 others that are maybe a little beefier. And one of them I have on Fantasy Grounds. So yeah, that for me being lazy. And, I'm very bad about having an overhead camera. You get the gist that this basically would be better to play on Fantasy Grounds for that one thing. So we might do a playthrough on that because it would take a while, maybe do it over a couple. But first things first, I'm going to get back to this. But yeah, anybody have this? I kind of like it, and like I say, I'm sure it would be way more interesting with a group, but I could see, I think anybody that plays solo has this concept that they could make a solo adventure or make a solo game or something. And yeah, I don't know. It would take a lot of work, and I'm sure there's more of a method to it. But yeah, I could see maybe leaning more towards this because I do feel more comfortable with the mystery type genre. So, or maybe an extension of something like this. So, anyhow, leave thoughts and comments below. I would give this a thumbs up. Had it for a while, and I believe that there's some other Chaosium starter sets. I know I have Pendragon. I think that has a solo adventure. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to playing that. So, anyhow, this has gone long. I don't think I'm going to really edit it. I think everything went pretty smooth. And just a big thumbs up and looking forward to more. So, good job, Chaosium. Glad I finally got around to buying this since 1981. So, anyhow, that's it. Have a good one, folks, and be kind.